the other day and just downstairs about gesture, so Gesture. Now the gesture is where you can clearly see the artist's hand, so you can clearly see a brush mark. So unlike a lot of these ones where it's completely smooth and you don't see any trace of a brush mark, okay, here you start to clearly see each and every brush mark on the surface. Now, the other thing to look at in this, like we spoke about, just speaking about the tooth, which is tooth of the canvas, which is where the weave meets. Now here you can clearly see that it's a much more pronounced tooth of the canvas, which means that it's a much thicker weave. Okay, so remember when we were stretching canvas, I said like a 16 ounce, for instance, means the heavier the weight, the more pronounced the tooth is in the canvas, which means it's more conducive to gestural painting. So what happens is they've got a dark base underneath, okay, so you can see everywhere's got a dark base, and then over the top with a paintbrush, just skimming the paint over the top with the gesture, and the paint lodges in the tooth of the canvas, which gives you the ability to kind of render a shape or render a shade just by how much pressure you put on the surface. Okay, so in here, for instance, you can, like along this plate, for instance, you can see it's just almost a single line, okay? And the paint is picking up on top of the particles of paint that's underneath, but also the tooth of the canvas. Here you can see there's more pressure applied with the paint, so the more pressure you apply, the more paint's going to go into the canvas. But then you can see towards the end, start to release the pressure, which means less paint is going to transfer on top of the surface, okay? Which gives you the ability to shade something without having to render it, okay? So that one, tooth of the canvas, the gesture, dark background, lights on top, okay? And it's kind of, you can take